Hello everyone, Star Ultros here with a new video today, bringing you a guide for the Vision World that we currently have going on. It's a shareable rank 1, so I decided to work hard this time, not be as lazy. I ended up finally getting rank 1, it took me a while. I'm going to show you a couple of example clears with what I have that works. If you have any requests to try other stuff, maybe I can try. Switching around some units, just let me know in the comments. We're gonna start with Dioxus because he's the one that I have like only a single team for, and he's very simple. Well, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I was concerned anyway. So here's the team we're gonna be using. So basically what I did is I gave the Reap, because it's a Reaper, weak to Ice, Wind, and Earth. So I'm going with an Earth team. And so I gave the Overkiller for Reaper to Rain, and then I gave there's no other Overkiller. Well, there's one on Anima. If you haven't unlocked on Anima, I don't. So I didn't give Anima to anyone. I do have basically I've just given like the good espers, around. So Ashura to Richt, so he had more attack, Bahamut on Cecil, and just like stat espers basically. So if we look at the gear, Roka here is built with basically like the best magic equipment I could give her. In that fight, no one's going to take any damage except Cecil, because he's going to be our Omni cover tank. So here it is. She has 300 Reaper Killer, no Overkiller for her. I gave her the Gathering Earth card, and I gave her this for the extra LB damage. She will be our main support, I will say, for the fight, but she's going to bring in a little bit of damage as well. Next is, Dark Athena here. So yeah, I know my whip is not hasn't gone through Item World. I just bought it for that so that she'd have a little something stronger. Once again, just geared for 300 Reaper Killer, LB damage, and also I gave her some Reaper Overkiller here, because she is a very strong damage dealer for Earth. And I also gave her the Gathering card here on this is Season 5 Rain, so Crimson Sword Rain, I think, something like that. Crimson Sword of Determination or something. Once again, just geared for attack and for Reaper Killer. He has Phoenix for the 50%, and then he has this material here for an extra 25% to everything. Since he's the only one that can equip it, I figured I'd give that to him. Pretty simple in terms of equipment. Once again, I gave him this for the LB damage because I gave him a higher stat card. Now if we go look at the next one, it's a Richt. Richt has to start in the base form, very important. So he's provoking in the base form, doesn't need any other type of equipment, just just provoke. I gave him some evasion out of nowhere because I felt like it, but that's really not necessary. So if the shift form is where the damage is at, once again geared for damage, 300 Reaper Killer, LB damage, and I thought I gave him some chain speed, never mind. And for him, no Overkiller, unfortunately, because Reaper Overkiller, I didn't have that many copies. So for him, I skipped it. And his vision card is the Guardian and Light vision card. So he also needed the LB damage materia. Also, yeah, the reason why we want to be provoking, you'll see on turn 1, well, on the preemptive, is because someone's going to be berserked. And according to my turn economy, he was the one that could take it easier. Also, didn't cost anything to gear him for provoke because he has a shift form, so I used that. I use this base for the provoke, and then in shift he can be geared for full damage. If we look at Cecil, I gave Cecil some dark resist to take a little less damage, but honestly, it's not that big a deal. You could also replace that dark resist with some evasion, but there is one big dark attack that is impossible to avoid. So look, a little bit of dark resist helps us not take too much damage and clear the requirement. As you can see, like I it seemed that I geared back and forth for Dark Rain as well, because I used like a little overlapping in a different element. So it can be a little weird for what he has equipped, but it's a very easy fight with that team, so I don't need to like overthink it. So he still has like some demon and human killers. But yeah, some dark resist, the royal card for more attack, and that's it for him. Obviously Reaper Killer LB damage. Now for Crimson Bow of something else, I forget their name, Crimson Fina. She is geared once again for Reaper Killer, some Overkiller as well for her. I gave her the best magic stuff I had left. So like no, it's not for resist that I gave her any of this. And also gave her the summoning card, because apparently she has evocation as her tags. I didn't even remember that. And that's it. So let's get right into it. You're going to see pretty easy fight. Also, in terms of party skill, since we don't have a Reaper Killer party skill yet, I just gave stop resist, but it doesn't do anything in particular, so you can literally leave it blank. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave it blank just to show it is completely irrelevant. So let's get into it. So on the preamble, yeah, I'm always on the PR for some reason. So on turn 1, as you can see, he just Berserk Richt. So now what we're going to do is with Roka, we're going to quadcast. We're going to put up her Imperil Field. We're going to clear with the Dispel here. It's a perfect Dispel for the boss and us. So we're going to clear the Berserk. I am going to give this to who doesn't need anything right now. Her, no, him. Yes, so I'm going to give that to Rain. This will unlock a couple of abilities that he can use to help in the survivability for Cecil. And then, what's the next thing? Oh yeah, breaks, sorry, the big defensive breaks. Fina here is only going to cast her Amplified Field, so 200% Earth Amplified Field. It's also water, but who cares about water in this? Cecil here is going to cast Shelga, even though it's not a big deal. There's some general mitigation on there. Actually, it's completely useless. Anyway, I'm casting it. He's Omni-covering from turn 1, so you don't need to do anything else with him. I can break even though it's not going to do much. I'm going to give some Dark Resist. Very important. And I didn't really need to multi-cast that much. I'm going to Earth Imbue him. Rain just got these 3 abilities from Roka, so he's going to cast them all. Mainly for the 88% attack and magic break. Well, we don't care about the magic, but for the 88% attack break. And also some physical mitigation from the mitigation skill. Fina here is going to do a stat buff for everyone. And that's all these. The rest is irrelevant, basically. Yeah, let's just cast that. Okay. So just a stat buff for more resist, well, for more defense on Cecil. So turn 1 is just physical attack that can be evaded, and then a little bit of dark damage, which was resisted there because my Cecil had a lot of dark resist. Now turn 2 is when we're going to start setting up a little bit more. So Enstonga, fill her LB. The breaks, even though I think somebody else is going to take care of it. Yeah, somebody else is going to take care of it, but I'm still doing it anyway. And the LB fill for other people is useless. So yeah, that's about it. I'm just going to do the Dispel again because it's just in case he's casting any kind of Imperil to remove it for the next turn. Now, Richt can finally shift. He's going to use his Mirage to help take a little less damage. Then he is going to do this and that, even though, like, unfortunately, he does have Earth in his elements, but he doesn't have the Amplify nor the Imperil for it, but I'm casting it just because, I don't know, I want to cast it. The multi-weapon Imperil, which is all weapon Imperil with 60%. And then whatever else, who cares? Fina here, I don't think needs to do anything because she can cast everything in one turn, and what she has to do, that is correct. That is also useless. Yep, let's just make her guard at this point. Cecil will use his LB mod buff. He is going to use his big attack and magic break, even though it's overlapping. I'm just doing it because I want to do stuff. I'm going to reapply the resistance buff. Rain here will need to start his setup. So he's going to use his LB mod buff, the 200% all element break, and the stat. Oh yeah, that's right. She can do a stat buff. Okay, and a stat buff on Fina. This Fina will do a stat buff, that is true, on herself and Roka. And this Fina once more doesn't have anything to do, does she? How long is this? It's 5 turns, so it's not necessary. Yep. Well, she can just guard. Here you go. So now it's going to be another turn of just physical attack, but also the strong, dark physical attack that cannot be evaded. So as you can see with the resist and mitigations, that's literally no damage that he's taking. Now we're going to do the final setup. So we are using the LB buff, the Reaper Killer with her. We're going to do the Dispel again just in case. And finally her LB mod buff, which also focus. He is going to evade, Mirage once more. The Amplify, even though it's useless. I thought I did this last turn, didn't I? Anyway, the LB buff, and lastly the 600 here, 600 attack and magic buff, which, oh, he gets 150 Earth. Amplify there. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, here we go with him. Dark Fina is going to use her LB buff, Earth Amplify, Status Ailment Protection just in case, who knows, and her mod buff. Cecil is going to use his Magnus ability for Omni Cover, his Earth Amplify, his LB damage buff, and I guess just do Elemental Resistance once more. Rain here is going to get his LB buff, his 300% Amplify, which he can share with Roka, because Roka doesn't have one. She doesn't have an Amplify at all, which is a bit sad. And last, nothing else really matters, so let's just do this. Fina here, we're in quad cast, so her LB damage buff, Earth Amplify. Let's do. All of this is completely useless. Yeah, I'm way overthinking this here. Just the stat buff, and then her LB modifier buff. We just cast everything, and then we watch Cecil get punched in the face for us some more. Here it is. So once again, there is also that big unavoidable dark attack. And here we go. So now we're just gonna fire up all the overdrives. Honestly, the only one I need to think of, like I'm just applying them all. I didn't really think which one overlaps with which other. The only thing you have to think of is Roka's have to go last. So very, very important. You need to do Roka last. I don't need to use both of Rain's. I know they overlap. And here, so that's the thing that's important here. So Dark Fina must go before Roka at all costs. And then since the team I have is mostly Crystal, I'm going to use her Gathering first for the stat buff that it gives to the Gathering units. And then I'm going to do the Crystal one, which covers almost everyone except poor Cecil, who's there only to be a tank basically. And now we have the OD field, we have everything. So if we look, she has a 300% stat buff, she has a 200% LB damage buff, and 70% category buff. And then the overdrive field as well, which is 100% when it's from her. So we're going to go with Earth. As for Richt, he's getting 500% stat buff, 70% category buff, and 600% LB buff. Once again, we go with Earth. Dark Fina here, same as Richt, because she is a guardian, and that's where they're getting all these things. Poor Cecil's only getting 200% LB damage buff, 30% category amplify from himself as a savior, and he's getting 500% stat buff. He is also not benefiting from the middle field, unfortunately, so he's going to hit rather low. Him also the same because he's a crystal unit. He's getting most of these. Also a guardian. And same with Fina here. Sorry, I skipped over. So same with Fina. They're all getting the same things as guardians and crystals. So in terms of chaining, the way I arrange them is not really optimal, but let's just let it go. So Rain, Cecil, and Richt go together, and then the girls will all go together. So the boys together, the girls together, and here we go. And so there's 152 chain, which is exactly the number that should hit. And the first time I ran this, it was 45 billion, now 42, so variance, yay. But as you see, way overpowering this poor boss. This is not the one I struggled with. If you have Roka, it's gonna go very easy. So Rain rolled decent, Dark Fina a little low, Roka pretty good. Richt was kind of low. Fina here very good, and that's pretty average for Cecil. So here we are, that's a perfect score on this one. Dio was honestly the easy one with the team I had, so if you have Roka, she pretty much cracks it open if you have a couple of crystal units. Now, for the one I struggled with for a couple of days, we have Dark Rain, and I really tried hard to make this one work. So for Dark Rain, I think I'm going to show you first the team I had. Yeah, I have the, so this team I had worked, but I just couldn't get the proper variance for everything to work. So as you can see, this team isn't using a tank. I'm using the new Reagan, the new Roka. So the new Reagan is there to Omni cover actually, and his overdrive skills will also help a lot. We have Terra here, who is going to carry the big damage because she is a rebellion unit to benefit from Reagan's skills, and also a gathering unit to benefit from Roka's skills. Roka is the leader because everyone in here is gathering. So let's just look into the gear, and yeah, I know Hio looks a little weird, but Tuffen from Discord gave me this little hint because I was looking for like something that would allow me to not bring a tank and not bust the damage taken score. I was just on the verge, so he said, hey, how about you just try bringing Hio for the big attack break and human mitigation, and that was enough. So let's look at the gear here. Oh, sorry, yeah, in terms of espers, in this one there are a lot more espers that can give you killers because he is a demon and human. So Terra, as the bigger damage dealer, is taking Diabolos. I put Lakshmi on Richt as he is the second biggest damage dealer. Then I gave Ramu to Hio because somehow, even though off element, he is the third biggest damage dealer. And unfortunately, my Ramu doesn't have. My Ramu doesn't have all the demon overkiller yet. I was working on it, hopeful that I would get it, and it would push me over the edge. But I'm missing 20% overkiller with him, so it's only 30% that he is getting. So if we look at the gear, for this one, it was a little harder because I was going without a tank. So what you need to have is dark resist for this one. With Roka, you don't need to have any more than 60% dark resist, and because she will take care of giving like an extra 40% with her skills. That also does the mitigation and everything that I did in the previous fight. And also she will dispel the imperil with her dispel skill. So Roka pretty good at carrying here. She has this here to get a little bit more dark resist to get at 60 because this has 20%. And then I gave her some Force Mysterion, which is a 100% demon killer with 30% dark resist. So she does have a little bit of human overkiller here because we got a ton of source of human overkiller. Otherwise, she is geared for human and demon killer, and she does have, once again, the gathering card. For Reagan, I gave him an ice weapon, and actually I could change that now because I have the oh no, not with that team, never mind, sorry. It was a question of action economy, so I geared him for human and demon overkiller, human and demon killer, and I gave him the 25% overkiller that is for season 2 units. So with this, he is maxed out and everything. Since he's a dual wielding unit, I also gave him a couple of chain speed, force Mysterion for the killers, but also the dark resist. And with that, he has 60% dark resist. He also needed 60% fire resist because he's going to omnicover on a turn. We are going to take fire damage, but I think he has that innately. So that was actually, oh no, he has 30% innately and an extra 30 from this, which is his STMR. So pretty easy to gear for him. And oh, sorry, yeah, in terms of the card, well, he has the Royals card, and that's about it. Or Terra over here. So Terra does have the Dark Vision sword, the Dark Vision's magic sword, her STMR, a bunch of human and demon killer. She has human overkiller, and she did have demon overkiller from Diabolos. Other than that, I gave her the light guardian card and some LB damage because she needed some to cover for that. So she does have pretty big stats, and with her crowns, it makes her a really big damage dealer. Next is Richt. So I use him in base form to tank the first turns, because this way he's going to take less damage, and he does have like some stat buffs in base form. So I geared him purely for spirit, and he has 5400 spirit. He still has this card. I could have, oh my god, I could have given him even more spirit with the ice card. Well, that's fine. I'm still, you know, okay in terms of damage taken. So I gave him some dark resist with this here, that here. He has 80, which is more than enough. And yeah, that's his base form. Now shift form, I geared him purely for damage. He was supposed to be the biggest damage dealer. That was a lie. But I gave him the Dark Vision's Great Sword, so I gave him Equip Great Sword. I gave him Demon Overkiller, and he is just flush on both. And in shift form, he doesn't need to have any resist because he's only going to shift on the turn where Reagan is going to Omnicover, so he will not take any damage at all in shift form. Next one here is Renoa. I didn't think Renoa was going to be a big deal. Her LB mod is so low. I didn't think she would be a big help. And her overdrive is, you know, just for a category of unit I don't have much, and they're all covered by better stuff. Turns out that her being a rebel actually really helped because she allowed Reagan to get his overdrive. And then, you know, I workshopped some more, but she was actually a pretty decent damage dealer as well. So I gave her some human overkiller, otherwise some chain speed because she is going to start the chain with Reagan, and she's using a rebellion card, and that's it for her. Next is Hyo, which is a little weird, I know. But it's because he does have the human mitigation, the big attack and magic break, and also he is also a rebel, which means he can also benefit from Reagan's overdrive. Well, he's rebel and gathering, so that gives him like coverage for both of his ODs, making him actually a pretty strong damage dealer. I geared him for, oops, I need to change this. I geared him for Dark Resist, Spirit, and some LB fill as well in base form because I need him to have his LB ready for last turn. But I figured, I don't know why, maybe I just miscounted his actions. He's alright to use his LB fill anyway. So then in shift form, he is geared for Demon and Human Killer. I gave him like the best attack gear I could give him that I had left. And I didn't have any other overkiller to give to him. He does have Force Mysterion, but it's not for the, yeah, it is to help with the resist a little bit, yeah. But mostly for the killers that he needed. And then he has the Gathering card. That's it. So let's just go in with this team. I will say I haven't been able to get max score with that team, but if I look at variance through all the runs I've made, I know if I get the perfect roll for everyone, it is going to hit the damage cap. So if you have these units and you want to try that, by all means go ahead. So turn one, what we do is we quad cast with Roka. So we're going to use both her fields, the big break, and this unlock ability here on Terra. Next, we are going to break attack and magic with Kyo. Then Richt is going to use his big stat buff and the LB fill because people will need their LBs to be filled. And he's going to attack just to deal, just to get some crystals. Rinoa is going to unlock this with unlock her abilities with this. She needs not this one, that one. This mitigation ability, which is going to come in clutch to allow us to survive, and then she can just punch twice to get some crystals for their LB here at for Reagan and Roka. Reagan can guard on that turn, and Terra is going to triple cast the abilities gotten from Roka, so mitigation. So this is elemental resist, a little bit of defensive stat buff. This one is mitigation, so 50% to everything. And this is an attack and magic break for 3 turns, so by casting this once, we're fine for the entire fight. And an 80, well, yeah, never mind, that wasn't an ultra Navio, so it's completely useless. Anyway, just casting it because it's there. So as you can see, we're getting dispelled on turn 1, so what you want to do here is just reload and recast everything with Terra, because she doesn't need to do anything for the first 2 turns. Next we're gonna triple cast once again with Richt. So we do the LB modifier buff, we do the big imperil for ice, thunder and light, but we're just using ice here. Well, not all, but anyway. So we're doing these 2 and then just punch. Rinoa is going to cast her mitigation. Unlock this again because this is only an unlock for 1 use, so I need to have it again next turn, and then punch once more. Roka is going to guard this turn, and Reagan is going to start his things, so he's going to use his LB modifier buff. He's going to give human killers to Terra, and he's going to give Terra a big 1000% stat buff. So let's just do these. And now, sorry, we're just gonna wait because this is my old reflexes. Yeah, that's useless. So now we shift with Yo. Longest shift animation ever. We get triple cast, so we're gonna cast his Fire Imperil, his LB modifier buff, and the human mitigation. So now we should be covered for not taking a lot of damage and be safe. It looks like everyone's taking a lot of damage. It is not a lot, it is fine. Do not worry. Now on this turn, we're going to cast the overdrives because we want to get the stat buffs from them to make sure that Reagan doesn't take too much damage. So we're casting everything to get the stat buffs. Like, even though some of them are irrelevant to the damage taken, let's just cast them because, you know, an overdrive is always worth 2 turns anyway, so they're going to be there again next turn. On this turn, Hyo will be using his LB damage buff, Fire Amplify, and then he can fill his LB. Rinoa once again needs to mitigate, then LB damage buff and modifier buff and focus. Rift here is going to finally shift and then Quint cast, so damage buff, big amplify, imperil. This is human and demon killer for him, so 200%. Unfortunately, it's not 300, but that's still good. And then this for the 600% attack buff once more. Terra this time is finally going to do some stuff for her, so LB damage buff, 150 amplify for everyone who isn't using their own, this just for focus for no reason, and then her mod buff. Reagan here is going to use his LB damage buff, human killer on Hyo being the third biggest damage dealer, because I don't want to, you know, like double dip or waste it on Rick because he already has 200% of his own. And Roka is, and then I used Omni Cover last as well. For Roka, we're going to quad cast, so we LB damage buff, we Demon Killer, so that's 300% Demon Killer to everyone. We're going to use the Dispel ability here to dispel the Imperil we've got on us, and then the LB modifier buff, because if we look, maybe we didn't get imperiled. Anyway, I'm casting all this, so we go like that. And then as you can see, Renault is also getting her overdrive, but it's not doing much. I'm still gonna use it anyway, but it's not gonna do anything at all, I think. So Regan's resisting most of the damage. He's taking some from the fixed attack last. So basically, turn 1 and turn 2 are all elemental damage, except the first attack, which is just like flat magic damage, but isn't that high. And turn 3 has a fixed magic attack, which is when you want to use your Omni cover if you only have like one source of it. Now I used all the overdrive, so what we're going to do is we're going to go with Ice for Roka, we're going to go with Ice for Richt, we're going to go, well, as you remember, I gave an Ice weapon to Regan because he didn't have the action economy to use his Ice Imbue, and I don't have anybody else to imbue him. And we're going to use the stat buff the stat buff Limit Burst for him, because he's going to be starting the chain so that everybody who didn't get a stat buff benefits from it. So that's 500% he is offering to everyone. So that's going to be covering Roka, Rinoa, and Hyo, because she is getting the 1000%, he's getting the 1000%, he got his own 600% as well. Rinoa is going to use Ice, Terra is going to use her regular LB, and then Hyo's going with Fire. The reason why I'm using Fire is because it is also supported by Roka's field, so she has Fire, Ice, Wind, Earth, and Light amplified by 100%. So he's at least going to benefit from the Amplify field, even though he's not benefiting from the Imperil field, because none of his elements are in here. So the way we chain this one is a little harder. So what we do is we send Regan, Rinoa first, then we wait a couple seconds, we send Richt, and then we send Hyo and Roka together, and finally we send Terra. So it's going to look something like this, and you have to press Regan first. So like this, that. Hopefully I didn't mess it up. I didn't mess it up. Great. Now let's see if this one, because it was on video, would finally be the good one. I highly doubt it. Oh my god. No way. 29 point... No way. I actually made it because of... Oh my god. Because I was recording, I finally got it. This is the perfect score. With the team I've been trying the entire night until I finally decided to go and pull a random poll. And I got Season 5 Lastwell on that poll, which was completely off banner, by the way. Anyway. Oh wow, okay. Oh my god. Okay, that's weird. Okay, never mind. So we have Roka here, who rolled pretty decent. Regan, who rolled average. We have Terra, who rolled a little low. I've seen her go as high as 9.3 billion. Regan usually went for 5 billion on the good runs. Roka went as far as 3.3 billion. Richt, actually decent. He went up to 6.5 billion. Rinoa, actually 3.1 is pretty much the highest I've seen her with that setup. Hyo, 4.5 billion, also the highest I've seen him go with that setup. So, perfect score with that team. That was a bit unexpected. Okay. And I'm just because I pulled him, I'm just gonna go and show what happens with Lastwell. So basically I changed none of the gear. The only thing that changed is, I have Lastwell instead. So I gave him some Dark Resist through these things. Like, really, I didn't overthink it at all. Like, I just gave him stuff. Some more Dark Resist here because he is equipped with the whale, what's its name? Bismarck, which is a light Esper as well. So that's lowering his Dark Resist. So he has his TMR equipped. He has the Ice Katana equipped as well. That's not even necessary. I could give him more chain speed. Let's just do that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's give him more chain speed here. So he has 2 chain speed because he's going to open the chain with Regan. He's geared for Human and Demon Killer on top of some Overkiller from the 5th season Overkiller 25%. He has the Royal card, and that's about it. So that's the only change. Everything else is exactly the same as the previous setup. Once again, we do not have a tank, but we don't have Rinoa anymore to give big mitigations. So I was a bit concerned that we might take too much damage. It worked when I did it the first time. Watch it not work this time. Let's see. So setup is basically the same. So with Roka, No, that's a little bit different. So with Roko, what we're going to do is we are going to triple cast instead of quad cast. So we're going to use the Imperil Field, the Stat Break, and we're going to unlock the things on Terra. We're not using the Amplify Field this time because we have a little Mr. Lastwell here who can do it at a 200% rate instead of 100%. But on turn 1, he doesn't need to do anything, so he can guard. Reagan will guard again as well. Hyo needs to do the big breaks. Terra needs to do the mitigations and elemental resist. And Richt needs to do some LB fill and stat buffs. Here we go. And yeah, as you can see, Lastwell's using his boost skill to deal some damage to the boss. Not that it really matters, because that's not counted at the end of the day anyway. Turn 2, we repeat Terra once more. Does he need to do anything on this turn? I think not, because he can cast everything on one turn. He has a quad cast, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, he's good. So he can guard once more. Reagan needs to do his thing. This time, oh yeah, I forgot to change his gear. I could have given him a stronger weapon, or Excalibur if I want to play some variants. So we're gonna do the LB mod buff. We're going to let's just do the Ice Imbue as if we were doing it, and the big stat buff on Terra. We don't need to do the killers with him on this one because they are all going to be handled by Lastwell. Roka can once again guard on that turn, and Richt will once again do Mud buff, the Imperil, and Punch for some LD stones. Oh, maybe I should have. Nah, it should be fine. Anyway, let's shift him. I hope Lastwell gets his LB. If he doesn't, I don't think it's going to be that big a deal anyway. So we do the Imperil, the Mud buff, and the human mitigations. Now we take some more damage, not a big deal. We immune the dark damage. Yeah, no, it's gonna be fine. So Richt for the last turn, he's going to, because when he's in shift form, every turn he fills the LB gauge for people. Now we're gonna use the overdrives. Well, that's fine. Okay. So unfortunately, since Lastwell isn't a rebel, it means I cannot use the rebel overdrive right away. I'll be able to use it next turn. But that's not a big deal. It's still gonna work fine. Now, Hyo needs to do the same thing again. So LB buff, amplify, and fills LB. Lastwell this time is going to get the LB damage buff. He's only EX 0, so he doesn't have the 500%, so it's only a 400%. His LB mud buff, the 300% human killer, and the 200% amplify field. For Richt, we are going to shift him. We're going to give him the Quint cast for the LB mod, the LB buff, the big amplify, the weapon imperils, the killers, and the 600% stat buff. Terra is going to do her thing. Amplify everyone 150 if they don't have an amplify of their own. This time it is for Roka, Reagan, and Lastwell. So a lot of people actually. She's going to do the focus for no reason at all, and then she's going to get the mod buff. Reagan does his LB person buff, sorry, LB buff. He does his Omni cover, and that's all you need to do. So whatever else, let's just Ice Imbue again. With Roka, we're going to quad cast, so same thing again. The killers, the LB buff, the spell, and the mud buff. So then we cast everything with everyone. So now as you see, now we have, oh my god. Oh, that was a mistake. Oh, that was a terrible mistake. Yep, that was a terrible mistake. I got the, oh no. I dispelled again. Oh, what have I done? What have I done? Okay. That was a terrible mistake. What have I done? Okay, well, just don't do that and you'll be fine. Don't attack the boss too much. We'll see what happens. We'll just see what happens. It's just gonna be funny. So we go all in with ice. All in with ice. The stat buff from him. Ice with him. Never does her thing. And he goes with fire again. Now this time he is not going to get a big, he's not going to get 100% amplify, so Hyo's not going to hit as hard. But it's, well, it usually would still be enough. Now it's not going to be enough because Rain got a lot of buffs. I don't know how big are those buffs. In terms of chaining, once again, it's exactly the same as it was earlier. So you send Reagan with Lastwell instead of Renoa. Then you send Richtalone, and then the 2BS, so Hyo and Roka, and finally Terra. So this, that. Oh yeah, that's not cutting it. That is so not cutting it. Oh my god. So yeah, you need to not push him under 50%. Yeah, mistakes were made. Okay. Anyway, so long as you do exactly the same thing I did, but you don't push him under 50%, you will be fine. I hit 34 billion with this, and I was barely trying. Oh, no way. No way this happened. Okay. That's a little embarrassing. Anyway, that was it for me today. So if you want me to try and tweak some of those teams to bring like other units that you might have because you don't have some of these, feel free to ask. If I can make it work, I will make it work. But my answer will most likely be it's not gonna cut it because they're very bulky and can be quite hard if you don't have the proper units. As I said, like the team that just worked in the video, I tried it literally the entire day and it wouldn't work. It was like, this was maybe like my 15th try and finally worked. So you gotta play variants sometimes, and sometimes you gotta cut your losses. So good luck, and see you guys when I finally decide to not be lazy and do the Lastwell and Reagan video. Bye!